How's it going, you guys? It has been a crazy year. We have done so many things that I've lost track of a lot of them. And so today I wanted to sit down and kind of just take a look back on the year and how it went, because there was a lot of amazing stuff that had happened this year. I guess a lot of amazing stuff that happened last year, and I just want to take a minute to appreciate it and go over some of the highlights of the year. I'm not going to be able to hit all of them because we did so many amazing things, but I do want to be able to hit just a few of them. I stayed up last night writing down everything, and so this was me having some self-control. There were so many good things that I wanted to write down and talk about, but I don't want to bore you guys with 2 hours of going over old videos. So we're gonna just jump into this because it's kind of a nice day. I actually have a little light blanket on my lap. It's just been such a crazy year and we've done so many things, and so we're just gonna jump into this. First thing I want to talk about really is I haven't been posting on YouTube for very long. So in the grand scheme of things, I did start my YouTube channel about 2 or 3 years ago, and the first couple years I wasn't posting much at all. I was posting a video here, a video there. I didn't really understand how YouTube worked, and I was posting them at random days and random times, and there was no consistency. And now I've figured out a schedule and a time schedule and all of these things that work. So now we post 5 or 6 days a week, and we post same time every single time. If we look back on it, there's only one video that I did in the month of January. One video, which is so crazy because now it's going to be, I don't know, so many more times that, because we're doing 5 videos a week, or 6 videos. We're doing 6 videos a week. So it's just crazy. But the very first video that I did was in January of this year, was January 16th, and it was cost to start a flower farm. And that was, the planning had already started all of 2022. And now I was, January, I knew what I had spent, and I was able to kind of like go over all of that with you guys. And so one video happened, and it was the cost of the flower farm. I don't even remember how much I ended up spending on it, but it wasn't a whole lot. I think for what I got out of it, it was definitely worth it. The enjoyment was, it was a lot. It was very worth it. After that, I didn't post a video until February 8th. That is so crazy. You guys would be so mad at me if I didn't post a video for basically a whole month. That would be insane. And it was just a seedling update. It wasn't anything too crazy. It was just going over all the seedlings that I had already started for the flower farm and how things were going along. It was just going over all of the seedlings and little things like that. It was really cool now looking back on it, and now I know a lot of things that I would change and what I would do different from that year to now starting seeds this year. Probably wouldn't start as many as I started. The 12th of February, I was already working in the garden. February 12th was exciting because I was actually cleaning up certain areas in the garden. I was planting over we have like a little tiny swoop. It's where our Dusty Miller that's in the landscape is at. And I was cleaning that area up. I had planted the cyclamen, the mondo grass, and the candy tuft. And we still have the mondo grass, we still have the cyclamen. The cyclamen actually looks really, really pretty right now. It's in full bloom. They're really, really sweet little flowers. And we got all of that planted, and we were preparing, because about 2 weeks later, Janie was gonna be coming up, and we were gonna be meeting Janie for the first time. I've told you guys this so many times, we haven't even known each other for a year yet, which is just crazy because we, I think, have built a friendship that feels like we've known each other for a very, very long time. And so we were cleaning up the property, getting ready for Janie to come check it out and see where our flower field was and what we were doing along the lines of that. After that, I did a video of starting a roadside nursery FAQs, which for those of you that don't know, we did a roadside nursery, which was so much fun. It meant that we were able to meet so many of our community members in our area. We have a very small town. It's like a couple thousand people, and we were able to meet so many people, and we had people traveling from kind of all over to come check it out. And we just did it in our driveway. It was a little self-pay nursery, and that was so much fun. We won't be doing that again, at least not here anytime soon. It takes so much work, but while it was hands-off, because we didn't have it was a self-pay station, so you just came and you put money in a box, and I think we only had one time that we had theft happen, And other than that, it was super low key, and it was really nice because like people would show up after they were dropping kids off at school, and they would buy a couple plants, and we got to talk to a lot of really cool people. And a lot of people actually came back into the backyard and they got to see the garden the way it was back here. And so it was so much fun, and it was something that I would like to do again. I don't know if I have the time for it. And then after that was the 23rd of February. So we still have 2 months until it's been 1 year that Janie and I have known each other. And so February 23rd, Janie came up to our property and she hung out with us for the day. It was the very first time that we met. I did a little tour of the inside of our property here, and then Janie did a video where she toured the outside of our property and looked at the flower farm and saw we already had things planted in the rows. It was the first time we met, and we clicked almost instantly. Brent was helping out one of our neighbors at the time, and he had gone over to their house to go do a couple things while Janie was here, and he said that he could just hear us laughing all the way down the street. The neighbor lives like a block away, and he said that he could just hear us just laughing so hard with each other. And he said it was actually one of the like cutest things that he's ever heard, because he could just hear the whole neighborhood full of our laughter. For that, I posted a video March 11th, and that was me ditching work to go plant shopping. And I had gone to Magnolia and the Plant Barn, which are two nurseries local to us in Chico. They're two really good nurseries, and I buy a lot of stuff from them. The people that actually own Magnolia now own the Plant Barn. At that time they didn't, and they have changed it so much in a really good way. It's looking really amazing. The Plant Barn is where Bailey works, and you guys see me talk to Bailey anytime that I go over to the Plant Barn, because she knows so much. She's just like a wealth of knowledge, and she's just the kindest person ever. But I bought the Magnolia that we have, and I bought a few other plants from there, and our Magnolia is doing great. It has buds on it for next year. After that, it was April 2nd and that was Pest Control in the Garden, and I was dealing with slugs and pincher bugs so bad, and my little seedlings in the flower farm were only about this big, and they were getting decimated. And what I ended up doing was using some Bonide, which is the slug and bug killer, and that stuff worked amazing. I should probably just sprinkle it in the veggie garden. It's right there. I just need to do it. It's for organic gardening, and that stuff worked so well. I don't know why I didn't think of it this year. That's okay though. After that was the next time that Janie and I hung out, and I went down to her property. That was April 13th is when you guys saw that video. We actually went down there for a birthday trip for me, and we decided to go plant shopping and antique shopping, and then she gave us a private tour at her house, and it was amazing. This was her old property, and all of her tulips were in bloom, and it was so beautiful. We got to see the property in person, and it made it so I understood the layout of her place so much more, and it was just such a fun time. We had such a good time hanging out. We ended up spending the entire day together, and her property there was phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see what she does with her property that she's at now. We had such a blast checking out that place. It felt so special to be able to get a private tour from her at that property. April 20th, we did the Supertun Vista silverberries over the arbor in the front yard, and that was such a fun project, and that turned out so amazing until the plants started to decline. I think what I needed to do was give those guys a fertilizer, honestly, almost every single day. I just was not gonna be able to keep up with that. We were having to pull out a ladder. I was doing it once a week. Brent was doing it once a week. And we were pulling out a ladder, and we were having to use the fertilizer on them, and they looked beautiful, and we got a really good show out of them. And I popped them in the landscape, and they are actually looking really, really good even right now. They're very green, they're very mounded up, and I'm gonna leave them, and we will see what they do next year if they survive this. If we get a day that hits, like 30 degrees, they'll probably end up dying, but I'm gonna leave them and see if I can get them to winter over. May 7th was the first time I ever went to Wintour Gardens, and it was the coolest plant nursery. It was so amazing. They're working on some amazing projects there right now. You guys see me wearing their sweater all the time. I love Wintour Gardens. It's a beautiful nursery. If you're in the area, I highly recommend checking that out. It's one of my favorites now, and it's maybe 30-40 minutes away from where we're at, and so we go quite often. And in that video too, it was really cool because we have such a hard time finding anything proven winners locally to us, and they stock so much proven winners. They stock annuals, perennials, shrubs, they stock all of it, and it is amazing there. And we ended up getting some Supertun bubblegum and a few other things, and it was an amazing trip, and I had so much fun there. So like I said, if you're in the area of Reading, go check that place out. May 25th was a huge project. May 25th, we decided to finally stain the fence black. Well, we're not done, but we do have the fence black everywhere that we have new fence boards up. We still have this section right here that you guys can see we need to finish. We just need to build the fence, but now it's too wet and muddy and we don't want to do it. But it's going to happen, and it's going to happen this year, I promise. We'll finish the fence finally. It made our roses pop. It made everything that was green just like glow, and it gave kind of a sense of peace to the garden, where the fence boards were starting to turn that grayish color, and it just felt a little bit, it looked like this. It just looked a little dingy, and the black gave it, it's so weird to say, but it gave it like a sense of vibrance to the garden. Hands down, one of the best projects that we've done. The reason that we did that though was because on the 31st, Janie came up and we did the Espalier, and at that point of the 25th, it was time to make the decision. Brent didn't want to do it, I wanted to do it, and so we were both on the fence of it, kind of like going back and forth, are we doing it, are we not doing it? And we were like, okay, well, Janie's coming, we're gonna install an Espalier, and so this is the time we either do it or we're not doing it at all. And we decided to do it. And then Janie came up on the 31st, and that's when we installed the Espalier, and it was so worth it. It was so much fun. You guys know, we just laugh the entire time that we hang out, and we got the Espalier done, and we got the honeysuckle planted on it, and it has continued to grow. And just since May 31st, so basically, you know, the 1st of June, the plants have filled that thing out so beautifully, and it has been one of the best projects that we've done. I will make sure that that video is linked down below because I get questions about that all the time. June 14th, I decided to create a topiary, and I decided to do that because I bought one from Monrovia at Green Acres. It was my birthday present to myself. It's a boxwood topiary, and it cost me $175. I've never spent so much money on a plant in my entire life, but I wanted a boxwood topiary, and I've wanted them for so long. I think they're so beautiful. We actually just planted it up because I was so nervous about planting it and finding the right placement for it and what I was gonna do with it. But I did that, we bought that one, and then I came home and I was like, you know what, I wanna see if I can create one. And I've never created a topiary ever before. And I had an Italian cypress that I had dug out of the landscape. It was in a container, and I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be planting this in the landscape anyway, so let me just try and see if I can turn this into a topiary. And we did, and it turned out so good. It was a $20 plant, and I got a beautiful topiary out of it. It's still sitting in the side yard now. It gets watered and it's doing great, but I need to figure out what I'm doing with it now that I have the topiary for that. June 18th. We gave away a ton of flowers, and it did not go as planned. This was one of the first big harvests that we did out of the cut flower garden, and it was a ton of flowers, and I had so much fun arranging them. I love arranging flowers. I do it all the time. Half the time I don't even do it on camera. But we took them down to our grocery store, and the ladies that work at the grocery store were really excited about it, and they loved having all the flowers, and they all took one. And then I set up a little table, and I decided I was just going to give them away, and it didn't turn out as planned. I actually got quite a bit of negative feedback about it. Quite a few people were like, why would I want that? I don't want your flowers, that's weird. And so I felt really discouraged after that. And I ended up leaving, and I still had like 5 or 6 mason jars full of flowers. I think I only went with like 15 or 20 of them, and I still had 5 or 6 left, and I just went into the store and I gave it to one of the cashiers, and I said, hey, maybe you guys want to just hand these out. I said, I think I'm done for the day. And I came home, and I was pretty upset about it. It didn't make me feel very good, but with that came a big lesson, and I decided to give it another shot. So on the 25th of June, I tried again, and I went to a nursing home, and I hadn't called them, I hadn't talked to them. I just like Googled a nursing home. I said, you know what? A nursing home would probably really appreciate these flowers. And so I went, tried it again, and they were so delighted to have those flowers. We ended up staying there for about 45, 50 minutes talking to them. And we came up with a game plan that I was going to show up weekly with flowers, because I had all of these flowers and I didn't know what to do with them, and I did not want to sell them. I wanted to just give them away. I was just enjoying the process and I didn't want it to turn into a business. And so I just wanted to not feel like a harsh commitment to anything. And so it was you know what, I'll come maybe once a week and drop off flowers. And then it turned into I was doing classes there, but the ladies enjoyed it, and the ladies all came to the class and started arranging the flowers, and it was just a lot of fun. As crummy as it was that it didn't work out at the grocery store, it actually ended up leading to something so much better and a better experience altogether. On July 12th, we decided to go fountain shopping, and we saw fountains that ranged from $300 up to one that was $10,000, and I don't even know if I got the footage of the one that was $10,000, but this thing was massive. It had to have been, oh my gosh, I don't know, 12, 13 feet tall. It was so big, it was so beautiful. We had such a good time. We are going to be going back. Hands down, we're going back. I'm not sure when we're going back, but we're definitely going to be going back. The food was amazing. The restaurant was beautiful. Even just to be able to peruse and walk around. We didn't buy anything. We just had lunch there and it was amazing. If you're in the area of, it's called Pottery World, go check it out. By August 16th, I felt the burnout in the garden. I was over it. I was so tired. It was hot, and the summer season here is not a good growing season for us. The summer season, it hits 108, 112, 115 daily. It is so exhausting. It cools down to 90 degrees at nighttime, so there is no rest. There is no reprieve from the heat at all. It's just hot and it's dry, which is fine by me. I don't like the humidity, but it is dry and it is hot and it is exhausting. You have to be out in the garden by 6 a.m. during that time of year just to be in the 80s and 90s, which is just, it's ridiculous. And so I was over it. And I told myself to get out in the garden and do a few projects. I did a little bit of cleanup and I was able to reset my brain a little bit. I need to sometimes just vent and talk, and it gives me a chance to reset, which is really, really nice. August 30th, we got another private tour at Janie's house, and it was her brand new property. She's only been there since August, which is so crazy, and the end of August at that. And it was such a blank slate at that point. And Janie and I are both people that can see a vision in our heads. And we walked through her property and she told me the vision of it, and I could just see it coming to life and see these shrubs coming out of the ground, and I can see it happening as she was explaining it all to me. And I cannot wait to actually physically see the way that it turns out, especially now that I'm sure you guys have all seen the plans that she had drawn up and everything of her garden. I think we also planted the willow tree on that trip, so that was the first plant in the ground there, which was really cool to be able to help do that. Then after that, it was September 2nd, and I hit 10K, which was crazy. If you had asked me in January or February what my plans were with YouTube, it was not this. I think I had maybe 1,200 subscribers at that point, so it was absolutely nothing. I didn't know what I was doing, and to tell me, if you told me in January or February, oh, you're gonna hit 10,000 subscribers, I was like, yeah, you're crazy, but that's all right. And then here we are sitting at almost 15,000, which is just, it's amazing. It's really cool. It's really cool to see it happen, and I appreciate all of you guys being here. So we hit 10K, and we did a little giveaway for it, which was so much fun, and yeah, it was a really surreal feeling, and Brent and I had just watched the number creeping up slowly and slowly, and we watched it turn over to the 10K. We were texting the entire day. I think I was at work, and it was a cool experience to watch it hit 10,000 subscribers. Yeah, so thanks guys for being here for that. September 13th, I had taken a big trip. We had gone down to Ventura, California, and we did the Baker Creek Expo, and that was so much fun. I ended up meeting so many of you guys, and we chatted for a very long time, and it was so much fun. That was definitely a really, really good trip, and it was a long flight for me. It was a long drive. It was a very long day getting there, and we had problems with the hotel, but it ended up working out. It ended up totally working out, and it was so much fun. I loved it. I met so many of you guys. I got some really cool seed packets. I did all of these things while I was down there. My sister ended up driving up she's in Vista, and so she ended up it was a 2-hour drive to come see me, and she hung out with me for the day, which was it was a blast. It was a really good time, and I was so happy that I was able to do that and go see the Baker Creek Expo down there. And after that, we immediately came back. It was September 21st, and I ripped out all of the plants. I ripped out all of the cut flower garden. I came back, and before I left, I already knew that there was some problems going on in the garden. There was some spider mites, and there was aphids and powdery mildew, and we had everything. And I decided to rip it all out. I was over it. So we tore everything out. Jalen was there to help me, and she helped rip everything out. We reseeded the lawn, and now we actually have grass back here, which is, it's been really nice to have the grass back and have an area to be able to just kind of walk. It was needed. I was done with the cut flowers at that point. By October 6th, I got an email from Proven Winners, and they said, hey, can we send you out a box of plants? It's some of the 2024 plants, and we would love to share them with you. And I was not going to say no. They sent me out a box of plants, and they're all doing so well right now. The rose is doing good. The juiced orange jessamine is doing really, really good. That thing is like, just since October, it's almost doubled in size, which is just crazy to me. That I didn't think it was gonna put on any more growth, but it's loving where it is at, and it is so happy. And so I felt very special to be able to be asked if they could send me plants, because I mean, who's gonna say no to free plants? And then who's gonna say no to free plants that aren't even out on the market yet at that point? And I cannot wait for this year now to watch them grow and watch all of them bloom. October 17th, I decided to make new garden beds in the veggie garden, and that was the start of a whole bunch of DIYs that have since happened, and they turned out so good. I love it so much. We just did one, and it turned out so nice. I need to make a couple more. I think that's on the docket for either this week or next week. I gotta get going on making some more beds to get rid of the brick bed that we have in the veggie garden, to get rid of the slugs. So it's gonna happen, and we painted them this beautiful green color right there, and it just turned out so beautiful, and I'm so happy that we did that. And I got my garlic planted in time, and it feels like I always do things in such a rush, and there wasn't a rush on it, and it was really, really special. And now I love going into the veggie garden. It feels very cohesive in there, and it feels very cottagey almost. It's really nice. November 2nd. And we're coming to the end of the year, and we had made our window boxes. These ones right here, these were just supposed to be the test ones, and I did not expect them to turn out very well at all. I kind of thought that they were going to be pretty rough. I thought that this was going to be a huge learning curve for us. We had never built anything like that before. And when we finished, I was shocked at how well they turned out. And I cannot wait now to build. We need 3 more, and I cannot wait to do it. They're going to be so, so beautiful. Especially, I would like to get them planted. I'd like to get them built pretty quick here, and I would like to plant them up with tulips for in the springtime. I get a show of tulips in a whole bunch of window boxes. I just think that that would be so special and spectacular. December 2nd was kind of crazy. We released merchandise, which felt so crazy to me. We have restocked shirts. We have not restocked hats. I think I have 2 left, or 1 left of the tan hats. But the black hats sold out. You guys loved these, and I have to say thank you guys so much for being so supportive. Shirts have been restocked in sizes, and yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year to even be able to think I'm releasing merchandise with my logo on it. That's so crazy to me. And you guys blew it out of the water. I appreciate you guys so much. For you guys to be there and support me through that was absolutely amazing, and I can't even tell you guys how much I appreciate all of you guys that had bought the merchandise, or all of you that commented and being so supportive about it. It meant so much to me. After that was December 9th, and I went down to Sacramento. I was dropping my sister off at the airport. She was headed back to Texas, and I stopped at this little rose garden in Sacramento, and it was so beautiful. I had it all to myself. The sun was just peeking up, and it was so magical, and I felt so at peace, and I felt so calm there. It was it was very surreal to be there and have an entire park of a rose garden to myself. It was really special, and I can't wait to go back there. I'll be going back there definitely in the summertime or late springtime when everything is in bloom, and I would love to be able to talk to a few people that actually work there and learn about some more of the roses that are there, because there were some ones that I really, really fell in love with. And then after that, we ended the year with going to Texas to go hang out with my family for Christmas time, for the holidays, and it was so much fun. It was such a good trip. It actually went by extremely fast, and we did not do all of the things we wanted to do. And while we were there, I was still editing videos and getting those up, and so it was very, very late nights editing videos. I think I was staying up till, I think it was like, oh gosh, almost midnight there, and getting them edited, uploaded. But it was so worth it, because I wanted you guys to be able to see our trip there and see the places that we were going to, because they're places that I had already been to, but I absolutely love them, and I felt so excited to be able to go back there one more time. And so that is how we pretty much ended the year, and came back and did a few smaller little videos. It was such a crazy year, and I forget to look back on some of those things, and a lot of it is, this is why we started the channel, was so that way I can keep a actual timeline of our garden, and this is kind of my garden journal here. This makes it so I can keep track of, like, I already forgot we went to Ventura, I forgot that we did the nursery in the front, and it feels like a lifetime since we did the cut flower garden, and so time moves so quickly when I'm always thinking about content and the next video and the next video and the next video. And so to be able to do this end of the year recap and just pulling just a few videos and to go over some of the highlights has been really fun, and it's been really nice to put things back into perspective for me. So I want to say thank you all for coming along with me over this last year, and I can't wait to see what this year brings, and it's going to be a fun one. I have some good projects planned and some really exciting things. So thank you guys again for coming along with me, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.